Hey guys, welcome to the garden for our week 2 full garden tour. It has been so unbelievably hot here the last like week and a half that I have not been out here like really at all unless I have to be. I've been watering with a sprinkler. I'm already at the point where I'm watering with a sprinkler, which isn't the end of the world. It's fine. I did buy a new sprinkler, which I really like. But everything has really exploded with growth out here. So I apologize for the week 2 garden tour technically being during week 3, but we're gonna call it week 2. I did have plans to do some other things out here this last week and a half, and those all got put on hold, mostly because it's been too hot to function outside, essentially. Even into like the evenings, it's been just unbelievably hot, but the weather's finally broken. It's cooled back off a little. It's more beginning of June weather and less end of August weather. So we're gonna get the week 2 full garden tour going. I do have things more labeled. I will say I'm not gonna tell you that everything is labeled, but the tomatoes are labeled, so that's important. We can talk about the varieties that we're growing in the garden this year. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start over here in the sitting area. The strawberries are done for the year. I got to eat a few of them. My nephew pretty much cleaned me out of strawberries this year, which is fine. I do have a plan for these, which we will talk about later. This bed has some kale in it that's actually starting to grow. Some lettuce. I did harvest a lot of this, so this is like regrowth, which is cool. And I think this might be, actually I don't know what this is, to be honest. I don't know if that's broccoli or cabbage or I don't know, but there it is. Now in this next bed, this is our perennial herb bed. It looks okay. It's been so dry and hot that I've had to water every single night. The sage is not looking the best, but we're gonna do what we can. Anyway, so cherry tomatoes. Look at this. I mean, this is ready to be tied up to this panel. This is the sun gold. Looking really great. This is the blueberries, and it needs to be tied up. It appears I need to tie some things up. These are looking really great. Blueberries, this one is Brad's Atomic, which is my first year growing these, and I'm so excited. Everything has flowers on it, which is great, and the plants are looking really good. This is some chamomile down here, starting to put on some flowers. My corn is, stop. Okay, so here's some peppers. Now the thing I'll tell you about the peppers is they have their plant markers on them, but they all look like this now. So like you can't read that. What even is that? Actually I can read this one. It says Ajvarsky on it. Can you see it? Maybe. So anyway, I need to relabel these somehow, but I'm not really sure how because they're so short. Whereas the tomatoes have their labels up on the panel. So I'm not real sure how I'm gonna do this yet. But the peppers are looking really good. I do have some peppers on, which is exciting. This is the rest of the peppers over here. Again, they look pretty good. I need to figure out a new labeling system for them. This one does not look good, and I'm not really sure why, but it's the only one like that. So anyway, I have some bush beans down here, and they are starting to really put on some growth. These took a while to come up, but they did, and I have a few different varieties in here. I'm not actually really sure what I planted, but they are starting to look more like bush beans. On the other side of this, you can kind of see we have cucamelons. So this is actually one of the cucamelons that was eaten down to nothing, and it has come back, as you can see. Look at that little guy. I'm so proud of him. They're starting to vine. This one I just put in the ground yesterday. It's actually already grabbed on. Look, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but it's already grabbed on to its little, there you go. Like, you can see that it's already grabbed on. That's so cute. I love it so much. Anyway, so I have 4 cucamelons. There's another one here I just planted, and then one here. So the plan is for them to cover this entire cattle panel arch, and it is just going to be so whimsical and cute, and I can't wait. Now over here we have some more cherry tomatoes. These are a little bit smaller than the ones by the seating area, but they're still looking really good, really nice and full. We have Salsa Cafe, which is the red cherry, Blonde Girl, which is a yellow, and Black Cherry, which is a purple one. These were all a little bit smaller when I planted them, so really, honestly, they look great and I'm happy. Now over here in our squash area, I have started mulching some things, which is good. So this is a butternut squash, starting to vine a little, and then I don't know what this is. It's something. I know that this and that are honey nut squash, because honey nut squash have the like light ribs on them. Now let's see, is there anything in this? I made these little cages out of hardware cloth to put around seedlings. This one has nothing in it, so just leave that there. But this, no, that's a honey nut. Okay, this was a seed, and it's looking great. And this down here was also a seed, and it's looking great. That is a violet, not a squash. Okay, so looking good. Over here in the raised beds, the sweet potatoes are starting to look better. They're starting to grow, which is good. These take a while. They really like the heat, so they have been happy, but they were still just getting established when it got super hot here. So they struggled for a few days, but they're starting to come into it now, which is good. Over here, look at this. This is our potato bed, and these look great. I'm really happy with how these look. I was a little concerned about them, but they came up and they have grown a ton. Now the onions, they need weeded, but they are starting to look pretty good. For the beginning of June, they look great. And then down here I have my garlic and some leeks that need pulled because they're starting to bulb or go to seed. The garlic looks like it's almost ready. I mean, it's laying down, so it may be just about time to pull these. These went in last fall, so I'll be happy to get those out, and then I'll have basically this whole bed to do something else with. Okay, now over here, this is our slicer tomato area, and these plants, again, just like the cherries, they have grown a lot, even in just the last week. I have some parsley down here on the end that's looking really good. These are, let's see, this one is the Wapsipinicon Peach, and I actually forgot I was growing this, but this is that like yellowy tomato that's kind of fuzzy on the outside, so I'm excited about that one. This one is the Cream Sausage, and this one is like the worst looking plant out here, honestly, but it does look a lot better. And then we have the Triple Crop, which is just an old favorite, red tomato. Oh, back here, look at these. Look at these sunflowers. This crazy chaos row of flowers is starting to look pretty good, except I do see that that sunflower got decapitated, and there's the top. So that's great. I love that for me. Anyway, dang, that's really annoying. I thought I was not gonna have to deal with that this year, but I guess I was wrong. Okay, anyway, over here in this row, we have Big Rainbow, which is a new one. Black from Tula, which is a new one, and Kellogg's, which is like my old standby favorite. I also interplanted some basils. I guess I didn't really show you those by the cherries, but I interplanted basils with my tomatoes this year. Come around here, actually some more tomatoes. This one is the Hillbilly. These haven't been mulched yet, but I'm working on that this week. Carbon. Amana Orange. This one was so tiny when I planted it, and so it makes me happy to see it growing. This one is the Delicious. Another Delicious. My Aunt Ruby's German Green looks like it needs to be tied up. It's like this. And this one's just called Red Beefsteak, which I don't know, we'll see. A new variety for me this year. And then over here I have 4 Romas. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are starting to really put on some height too, which is good. This one's a little smaller, but they're all looking great. And then I have some summer squash. This is an Italian striped zucchini. This one's much younger than these 3. This one is, what is this? Is this cube of butter? Or is this is yellow crookneck. So it's just a plain yellow crookneck. These 2 are cube of butter. I have a little nasturtium down here on the end as well. And then over here I have some dill, pole beans, and cucumbers. So my cucumbers are still in these little circles. I was having some trouble with germination on my cucumbers, so I've actually had to re-sow most of them. But I am noticing a little bit of something that might be a cucumber baby. This one looks pretty good, but we're keeping the protection on them for now because the pole beans are showing some signs of some bug damage. So we're going to keep the protection on the cucumbers for now until they get a little bit bigger. So that is our week 2 full garden tour. Maybe I'll call this week 2.5 since it's really been more than a week. And you can tell how much everything's grown. It's been so unbelievably hot, but I have been watering every night. And I think that's made a difference. I just wish it would rain. There's no rain in our 10-day forecast. It hasn't rained in like at least 2 weeks, if not longer than that. So that's, again, that's like August weather, which for us, which is just, it's annoying is what it is. But I have a lot to do out here still, things that I just want to get done. I need to mulch everything. And I also bought, and I will show you guys this when I have it kind of put together. I bought a galvanized raised bed, one of those ones that you put together. I'm not sure like how well it's gonna go together yet because it was very cheap, but the box that it came in, the pieces look really high quality. So I'm gonna put it together and then we'll see how we feel about it. That bed is actually going to end up being strawberries and asparagus. I've heard that strawberries and asparagus get together or get along really well. So my goal is to put both of those in the same raised bed. Now, I did have some asparagus crowns. They grew last year and I moved them up here to one of these raised beds, and the squirrels removed them. from the raised bed. So they did not come back this year. But I'm gonna get some new ones. We're gonna try again. I am also probably going to get some new strawberry plants. Mine are, especially the ones in the raised beds up here, the big ones. Those are a few years old, and the bed that they are in is pretty full. So the way strawberries work is they actually send out runners after they make fruit, and those are the plants that will continue to make fruit. So you want to make sure they have room to kind of take over. But the problem with what I have is they've pretty much taken over the space that they're in, and they need more room. So I may end up buying some strawberry like bare root plants as well for next spring, and kind of see where that goes. But what I can also do is I can save runners off of my plants, and I've done that before as well. The bed I bought it's like 5.5 feet by 2.5 feet, and it's 11 inches tall. So it's a pretty good size. Where I'm gonna put it, don't know, haven't figured it out yet. But I did buy that, and that's what we're gonna use for our perennial strawberries and asparagus, because that is something that I really wanna get established, is some asparagus. So that's kind of the plan of what's to come for the summer. We're gonna be doing that. We're going to be creating a new worm farm to move the worms into, which is gonna be fun. And hopefully we're gonna be harvesting lots of food from out here in this wonderful garden. So thank you so much for joining me on my week 2.5 full garden tour, and I will see you in the next one.